For great ideas and practical tools you can start using tomorrow to grow your business and separate you from the competition, you've come to the right place. If you're into B2B marketing and sales, then welcome to the one and only B2B Marketing and Sales Podcast. With over 60 and counting total years in the trenches of businesses small and large, they have a plethora of knowledge and experience that generate you more leads, capture more clients, ring up more sales. Well, doggone it, just make you more money. How about that? Always thought-provoking, yet dubiously entertaining. Please welcome to their respective microphones across 3 time zones, your co-ringmasters, the Dave Loomis, and not the rock star, Steve Miller.
Hey, boys and girls. This is your
ladies
Uncle Steve.
And germs.
Uncle Steve. Yeah, ladies and germs. And if anybody listening to this knows what we're talking about, you are way too old. You should be retired. And so welcome. I'm Steve Miller, better known as Kelly's dad, marketing gunslinger, Uncle Steve to those closest to me.
Steve-O.
And welcome to the B2B Marketing and Sales Podcast.
He got it right. He
Drum
nailed it.
Drum roll.
Nailed it.
Along with me. Yeah. Oh no, the crowd is just going wild. And I'm still a little bit hyper. This is a couple of days ago. We were just talking about this. A couple of days ago, I saw Elton John in concert.
Wait, didn't you forget to?
No. You know what? This is the next thing coming out of my mouth.
Okay.
All right. My smoking hot wife Kay and I saw Elton John in concert in his second farewell tour. Farewell tour, and when we came on, my paisan, my partner in crime, let me introduce him to you, the man, the voice, the moose, Mr. David Mail Loomis. Welcome aboard, buddy.
Do I need to sing an Elton John song now?
Well, no, you can just.
Dun, 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 dun,
That's good.
Dun.
That's good. But you said that you had gone to the farewell tour 3 years ago.
I went to the first farewell tour.
The first farewell tour. So.
First farewell tour. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And we went to the
excellent.
second one.
Highly recommend it. For all of you listening, it doesn't really matter what year it is. This could be 2, 3, 4 years from now.
Yeah.
It's 2022 right now. But he's going to be doing the farewell tour for probably a few more years.
I think we saw that this particular tour, which has been going on for like 3 years. I think when he finished the tour that you saw him on, he just went back and started over again. Went back to the first city and just started the loop all over again. Yeah, and I think this one is ending in mid next year.
Sure,
something like that. Yeah,
sounds good.
So
sounds good. Well, it was great.
It was incredible. If you haven't seen Elton John in concert, and you know what. If you just appreciate great performers, he's got up there.
He's got a good brand promise.
Yes, he does.
Doesn't he? What do you think his brand promise is?
That he is Rocket Man.
I think it's not just singing and the great tunes and that kind of thing, but he's an entertainer. He is really an entertainer. His promise is that he will entertain.
Yes. I think that he is probably one of the greatest entertainers of all time. Right up there with Elvis, Liberace.
Yeah, Steve is
Weird Al Yankovic.
Steve is like 400 or 500 years old, which is why he can say like of all time.
Of all time,
because there was that person back in old England in the 1400s.
Yeah.
Who was an incredible court jester? One.
He was. I think he went by Bobby the Bard.
I think that was it.
It was something like that. Bobby the Bard.
He was maybe second. He was almost as good as Elton John.
Yeah, I'm so old that when I went to school, they didn't teach history. So, but I'm up. All right,
that is old. The last time I heard that, I fell off my pet dinosaur.
You've heard that joke before? So, all right. Okay, you fill us. All right, what are we talking about?
We last time we talked about the brand promise.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And at the end of the episode, we talked about how important it is to prove your brand promise. You can't just say it. I mean, you can, but will people believe it? So it's much more effective if you can prove it.
Well, okay, so let's talk about, let's kind of revisit what the promise is.
Right. We promised to do our brand promise of this podcast is that
that's right.
We will entertain. We will do proof points of brand promises on this episode. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah. So just to kind of recap what we talked about last time. The idea is that one of the things that you can do to really separate yourself from the competition and also use as a powerful marketing tool is to develop and in the marketing world, it's typically called a branding proposition, value proposition, something along that, unique selling proposition, stuff like that. USP. I call it our branding promise because I say it's very simply the promise that we are making to the marketplace of why they should pick us.
Yeah. Right.
So
it's usually 2 or 3 paragraphs long, right?
Doesn't even have to be that long.
I'm kidding. That was a joke.
Okay. Sorry. You know what? I'm still thinking of Elton John. So anyway, and I couldn't believe that the 4 guys who backed him up were all, Elton John is 75 years old. The 4 guys who were backing him up were probably all 70 years old. And they just hooked on stage. They over-delivered on their promise.
Fulfilled the brand promise.
They fulfilled it. They
over-delivered.
And one of the things that I think I shared last time, or if I didn't, I think I've shared it before, is that in our company, when we make a promise to our marketplace, essentially everything then walks the talk. And so like if we are promising, and I'm just going to use a very generic thing here right now. If we promise people that we're going to deliver the best customer service, okay, and that phrase is actually not a meaningful specific. It's a vague generality. It doesn't mean anything. All right, but we'll just say that for this argument's sake here, is that we say we're going to deliver the best customer service to them. Then every single touch point, every single moment of truth that we have with our customers and engagement that we have with our customers, it's going to do one of 3 things because we've made a promise to them. And so that's in their head. And it's going to do one of 3 things. It's going to either reinforce the promise we made to them that we have the best customer service. It might enhance. And they're going, oh, wow, they really do have the best customer. Wow, that's amazing. Okay. Or it diminishes and they go,
no, we don't want that.
That doesn't even fit with, good customer service. Okay. No. So we make promises to people, and in a big part of using that promise to separate ourselves from the crowd, as you so astutely pointed out at the end of the last time, you said we have to prove it. Right? Because we have to, people are going to say, okay, in essence, we're saying pick us, and the little man in the head of our prospect, our customers, is thinking, yeah, you're supposed to tell me that, but besides you, who else says I should pick you, or what other reasons do you have?
Right. And I would say that a lot of people might be jumping to the conclusion that, oh, I know, I'm going to have a bunch of customer testimonials. And I'm not saying that that's the wrong thing. I think that that's supporting.
That's the knee-jerk reaction.
But I don't feel like that should not stand on its own. Like that is not literally your proof. It is indicative of what you can deliver in the experience of those people that are being quoted. But it's good. It can help support it. But I think what we're talking about is data. I mean, in a sense, it's It's evidence of some sort.
My buddy Dan Kennedy, and I always give credit where credit is due. Okay, he taught me a phrase many, many, many years ago. He says preponderance of proof.
A preponderance of proof.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, preponderance.
I love that phrase. I wish I said it.
More than expected, isn't it? Preponderance, or it's a lot. It's a lot.
Absolutely. So it's not. It's not a tiny bit of proof. Preponderance of proof. So, do you have any thoughts on how this can be done? You say data.
Yeah, I do actually. I do.
Or do you say data?
I think I say data. I think I say data.
Right.
Data, like the character in Star Trek.
The character on Star Wars, Star Trek.
And I've got a great example. Because, it's an example that came while we were recording last week.
Last time, yeah.
An email came into me from a good friend of mine. And her name is Jenny Rosen, and she is the best lead generation person I have ever encountered. She does outbound lead generation phone calling, which is sort of old school, but she backs it up with emails, usually that are sent from some sort of a system that can track it. But she's a big HubSpot user and all that kind of thing too. So she's using sort of like old school technique, but newfangled, technology to back it up. So best of both worlds. So she does her own lead gen for herself. And I may have mentioned this before, but she used her technique on me years ago. When you
told me once in a private conversation, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Was it? Okay. She called me she sent me an email first and then she called me because she said in the email she was going to call me, and she called me, and she wasn't too pushy, and it was just perfect. I mean, so personable. But she sends emails sometimes. And she sent me an email the other day that just she lets me know if she has a little bit of availability in case I hear of anything. And many times I have actually said, oh, yep, here you go, talk to so-and-so. And then the next thing I know, she sends me a note that says, thanks, so-and-so hired me. So she sent me this note. And she said, the way it worked out was I asked her, she sent me the proof, and I followed it up by saying, what is your brand promise? And so I have this now from her, and she tells people that she will nurture and deliver awareness and opportunities. That's what she says.
She's going to deliver
awareness and opportunities. She's going to deliver awareness for whoever the client is, and she's going to deliver leads. But
I also like that. I also like that she says she's going to nurture it. So which indicates that she, because nurturing means multiple contacts.
Yes, exactly. So her proof is this, and this came right with the email, and this was unexpected because this is exactly what we're talking about. But she says, it just says sample of results for one client, set up 90 qualified meetings in 2 years. And then there's 4 little bullet points, and here they are. 24 of the 90 were multi-billion-dollar brands or organizations. The majority of the firms were $500 million plus. Over 30% turned into next steps, as in NDA signed, project bid, second meeting, etc. Projects secured ranged from $145,000 to $435,000 in sales for her client. That's the kind of proof that I'm talking about.
And it's hard proof. It's not just preponderance of proof. It's hard proof.
No, it's what she did. She says,
proof.
You say you're going to do something, you do it, but then track it and then communicate that. And you know what it made me think of when I was read this and I was thinking through it and thinking about this podcast today. what do we tell people to do when they put their resumes together? I write a lot of resumes for people because I'm really good at it. And people kind of turn to me for personal branding things and things like that sometimes too. But, you put together a resume, and a lot of people that are listening right now have put together a resume. They may have one put together now. They may be looking for the next thing. And every one of your bullet points should start with a verb. And halfway through that, whatever that bullet point sentence is, make sure that you're not just like writing a description of your job. You should be writing about something that has results. So you write the verb, you put a comma, and then following the comma is another verb with an ing. So you ing the thing, ing, you ing the thing. Okay.
You ing the thing.
Ing everything. Yes. Ing the thing. Okay. So, you say what you did, and you said like, contacted 90 multi-billion-dollar firms, bringing in multiple businesses, multiple clients at an average of $300,000 each.
Eaching.
You ing the thing, yeah.
Eaching. So now I was trying to figure out where the ing was going to go there. But at the same time, of course,
delivering.
I'm
it's another
joshing
verb.
you.
Delivering.
I'm joshing you.
Gotcha.
I'm Dave.
What you're
Josh. Providing, one of the banes of my existence is when I listen to people and when they say why we should do business, and they say stuff like, well, we provide the best customer service, and my response is that doesn't tell me anything. It tells me absolutely nothing. That's why I call it a vague generality. Okay. If you say customer service to people, everybody has their own definition of what that is.
Like quality.
It's like quality. We have the best quality. Everybody has their own definition of that. Okay. But if you say something that has numbers, we contacted, but I especially love the word nurture.
Exactly.
We contacted and nurtured 90 companies who were over X number of dollars in annual revenues, things like that. Right. And the way I would probably plus that a little bit is if we talk in terms of moose, who's the target, right? For her prospects. Okay. Who's the target? So because she would be saying, we contacted, nurtured 90 companies of this size who also fit the profile of the exact right target, of the target market. And I would actually even write out the profile. Okay. They were looking for vice presidents of finance, or they were looking for vice presidents of marketing, for these companies who were this size. And the more specific right. you can mm-hmm. get.
Yep.
That is preponderance of proof.
It is multiple. It's just, even when you're not, like, you can come up with numbers if you challenge yourself where you might not have. So let me just give you an example. This is actually, here's another resume example. Mm-hmm. But let's say that you were managing the sales pipeline at a company, right? And you would think, oh, okay, well, I'm going to put in the number of companies in that pipeline, right? But you could also say, well, you managed the sales pipeline for 45 professionals, assuring continuous follow-up for 100 plus prospects on a continuous basis or something like that.
Yeah.
So challenge yourself to quantify as many aspects of your brand promise as you possibly can.
Meaningful specifics. And I would say and even more deeper way of handling that is that if you could say, we were charged with finding 100 companies who fit this profile, and as a result of our efforts, we opened the door to 110 companies who all fit in this profile. So in other words, you're matching the goal that the client has with the result that the client has, showing that you really stepped up and you really show. I get it. To say like, all right, if they, they contacted and nurtured 90 companies, all right, and who turned into, they were able to say, okay, they raised their hands and said, yeah, we'd be happy to talk to these guys. Okay, but it would be even more powerful if they said, well, they only asked us to find 70, but we found 90. See that again, a meaningful specific. And showing that you remember, reinforced when above or below.
I think the other thing that would really be great to point out is that it's so much easier to just start tracking the metrics now instead of waiting and then trying to reproduce them after the fact. It's much more challenging. It's a lot easier to just start today, start tomorrow, and start tracking and quantifying whatever aspects that are supportive of your brand promise.
And I like doing that with my new clients, because I'll say, if they hire me, and neither of us are cheap. And by the way, if you're looking for a cheap consultant, I got a list. We'll be able to. I'm happy to share that with you.
Yeah, somebody said once that if somebody says that, for you to lower your price, that you can just say to them, not everybody can afford me, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's why I have a list of other people to recommend.
Yeah,
and say,
and that's okay.
Hey, if when I was doing professional speaking around the world, and somebody would say, "Oh, Steve's speaking fee is too high," Kay would say, I've got a list of cheap speakers for you.
Right. You want a cheap speaker? That's great.
Right. That's right. So I love this, because this is, because I want to move into where do testimonials fit into this, and how do you make sure that testimonials are congruent with the proof you're offering. All right. But see, I love it because the more specific you can make this, the people are going to go, oh, wow. Rather than say, oh, we're going to go out and we're going to contact all these companies and we're going to find you more leads than anybody else has ever gotten you.
Okay. Really?
What does that mean? Nobody's ever gotten us any leads. So if you give me one, that's more, So, now, all right. So let's kind of segue this and tie this into, because you originally brought up testimonials as as kind of the default.
I don't get me wrong. I like using testimonials, and I use them myself and use them for my clients. And that comes out of a lot of the voice of customer work that I do. I just think it shouldn't be everything. You don't hang your hat.
What are the
don't bet the
mistakes?
farm.
What are the mistakes that companies make with testimonials?
I think it's nice to be able to put a name and a title and a company with a testimonial to make it real. And then it keeps getting better and better if you can add a photograph of the person, and if you can even get a video of the person
Audio
actually reciting. Go to audio and then go to video to recite. Actually give it becomes a personal recommendation.
That's what
it takes it out of testimonial space and gets it into recommendation space. And the customer, when whoever you're getting it from, doesn't really realize they're doing that. You just say, hey, can we film a testimonial? I ask you a couple questions about, what it's like working with us, and, would you recommend, and they say, oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, they're great. They were great. I'll tell you what, they are so amazing. I'm so happy that they are my supplier. Yeah.
I had a customer of one of my clients a few weeks ago say to me, if you're looking for, X, you're crazy not to hire them. Okay, that's great.
I was very fortunate. One time I had a big client who referred somebody, to me. And this new guy called me and he said, Joe Blow over there at ABC Company said that he said his exact words to me were, Steve is too expensive, but you have to hire him.
I love it.
So
yeah, you get what you pay for.
Well, see, but the thing about testimonials is that for the most part, you go out there and these guys say, they ask for a testimonial, and the testimonials are bland. They're filled with vague generalities.
They don't have to be. They really should be sort of short and powerful and on point. So one of my clients really plays up the fact that they are good listeners, and that everything that they do comes as a result of that. They're a professional services organization, and that everything's customized as a result of that. So how do you back up a brand promise like that with a testimonial? Well, this is a real quote from one of the largest consulting firms out there about my client. And it says, they didn't walk in with their agenda. They wanted to know ours. Boom.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah, boom is right.
So, yeah, it's a quote, but it tells you exactly what is going to happen if you decide to meet with me or us. We're going to come in and we're going to check our ego at the door, and we're going to listen to what you need.
And then we're going to tell you whether we can deliver that or not. And that's also a big part of that.
Yes, definitely.
That's also a big part of that. But I love when I hear testimonials where somebody says, where somebody says, we told them that we were looking for 70 new leads.
Yep.
Because our average client spends $500,000 a year with us. Okay. And we knew if we could get 70 leads, that we would close 10% of those.
Yeah,
we knew
it's the math.
We got our numbers down. All right. Our numbers were, we were looking for 7 new customers. who we know are going to be spending about $500,000 each. That's what we know. Okay. They not only delivered us more, they delivered us 90 leads, but these leads were such high quality that our closing rate went from 10% to 15%.
Right. So that's, they over-delivered. You're backing it up with real numbers. So it's actually the proof in a testimonial. It's like combining the things that we just talked about.
Yep. And when I'm with my clients, and we're working on this stuff. And I'm in, with one right now, we're getting ready to start this stuff. And I'm saying, look, we want to get video testimonials. If we can't get video, we want audio. If we can't get audio, then we figure this out. But we need to go get them to tell you specifically what you did for them that either made this a less painful situation for them than they thought it would be. That you delivered on budget and on time.
Yep.
That they did not expect. All right. See, that they're talking about stuff like this.
I'm gonna plus this. I'm gonna plus it. Okay.
Can't wait.
So you and I have just been sort of batting around these different sort of levels. Like the ultimate level is like a video testimonial.
Yeah.
But there's actually a level beyond that I know that you will very much appreciate.
My head is exploding already, and I don't even know what it is.
Exactly. Well, it's in person.
In person.
If you're at a trade show and you can get a slot at one of those sessions, okay? Now, here are some, I'm just going to throw out some fake probabilities. If you ask the organizers of the trade show, hey, can I get one of those slots? Oh, what's your program going to be? Well, it's going to be about XYZ. In other words, the stuff that you sell, right?
Right. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
And they're going to go, yeah, okay. Kind of sounds like a sales thing. How practical is it going to be? Is it really? Okay. So probability, I don't know, 25%. I'm just going to say, you got to be good, or it's lower. Okay.
Right.
Now, if you say, well, I'm glad you asked that because I'm going to do a joint presentation with my customer, Saint-Gobain, giant Fortune 500 global company, Fortune 100. And the so-and-so who from Saint-Gobain is going to stand up there with me. We're going to share it. And we're going to talk about the project that we did and the results that they had. Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. The little thermometer thing goes up,
boom,
100%. Because, and you're doing it in front of an audience of your buyers.
And so now I'm going to do a callback. And a callback is a term in comedy, in humor. When you hear, like, you watch a comedian and he or she is on stage and they tell a very funny story at the beginning, and then they go through another 45 minutes of and then all of a sudden at the very end they do a closing routine, a closing story, and it calls back to the first story they told at the very beginning. Okay, it's called a callback. Works for us too, because I'm going to call back to one of our previous episodes where we talked about experiential marketing.
Okay. I thought you were going to talk about Elton John for a second.
No, I can. Okay. No, we don't want to do that. No. But when we were talking about experiential marketing, we were talking about how you can do these different types of meetings with people. You can do road shows. You can have your local. If you can go, like for example, and I've seen this done many times, is that a company will go to Chicago, right? The company, they're based in Oklahoma City, and they put on a kind of a quasi road show, right? They go to Chicago and they invite all these prospective moose to come in to see this presentation. Well, the most powerful thing they can do is just what you just said, is they get a hold of a local customer in Chicago who comes in, and instead of presenting a case study, the local customer comes in, and that person tells their story. Like you just said, they come in, and you have a private audience out there because you're doing experiential marketing, right?
Incredible,
incredible. And then you've got people up there, and they're telling this story.
I don't even know what it is they're selling, and I want to buy it.
I can't wait to buy it.
I'm going to.
Here's my credit card, and it only has it only goes to $1 million, but it's okay. All right. So
fortunately, we got you in this for $990,000. So
that's right.
Good.
That's right. So all right, we're going to cut this off. All right, because I think I think it's fair to say that what we're talking about is that there's more work to being successful. There's more work to separating yourself from the competition than the average company wants to go through. And I always challenge my clients. Why would you want to be the average company?
No.
They don't tell stories about average companies. The stories
they don't sing songs. They don't sing songs.
They don't sing songs. They don't do ballads. They don't do any of that stuff, right?
No, just heroes.
Heroes.
You want to be a hero.
Yeah. Exactly right. If you want to be talked about.
To be a hero, you got to have the brand promise, and then you got to back it up.
Got to back it up.
Quantifiable proof.
Got to back
preponderance of
proof. And it turns into a great story. Ooh,
it does.
That's for another episode, is to talk about storytelling.
Good.
And
that's going to be a good one.
But that's where we are. Okay, what we're telling you people is, look, make a big promise, like we talked about last time. Make a big promise, but be able to back it up with a preponderance of proof. Okay,
that's it. Mic drop.
We're done.
Yeah, that's it.
If we keep talking, I'm going to talk some more about.
Yeah.
Something. About. Do you know what Elton John's middle name is?
No.
Okay. Well, we know it's not his real name. We know
if you told me, I forgot. No.
Okay. He changed
I know that
his
Elvis
name.
Costello is Declan McManus or something.
Yeah, they've all got, these are all made up names, okay? But Elton John made up a full name. First name, middle name, last name. And Kay researched it. My smoking hot wife Kay researched it this week, and she loved because it actually has a personal connection to us. And so we are very excited.
Steve?
No.
Elton,
even better.
Steve, John.
Even better. So and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. I'm done. See if this works out. Okay, here we go. All right. You see that guy?
Okay. Steve is holding up a picture of a dog.
Yep.
Yeah.
For those of you that are just listening and not watching this thing, okay. Yeah. This was my buddy. All right.
Okay, it's his dog buddy. Yeah.
This is not. Yeah, but his name was not Buddy.
Oh, what was it?
Hercules, which is Elton John's middle name.
He named himself Hercules?
Elton Hercules John.
How could I've never heard that? That's amazing.
And the reason why Kay researched that was because on the giant video screens with these amazing graphics and cartoons and stuff like that during the music.
Incredible.
Yeah, but there's one where it shows him he's kind of walking on the yellow brick road. Okay.
Right.
He's got a jacket on. And on the back of the jacket it says EHJ. And she wanted to know what the H stood for. So
wow, that's great little piece of piece of
and
information.
with that, you can take us out of here.
I will. After I just say, I almost said that was a factoid, but that would have been inaccurate because most people think a factoid is like a small fact.
Mm-mm.
Look it up. A factoid is actually something that's not true. I believe. Just like that is an ironic thing to say.
It is.
Then the other thing is the word peruse. Most people say, "Oh, I'll peruse that," like they're going to scan it.
That's not what it means.
Peruse means to read something in depth.
In depth,
it's
completely.
Just the opposite.
That's
it's
exactly
literally the opposite. Okay,
exactly
now,
right.
now
boy, we are providing such interesting information.
Oh, to two
and
people
factoids.
That love it. Two people that love it. You and me. Okay. Bye, everybody. Great having you here in this episode of the B2B Marketing and Sales Podcast. I can say that quickly with your host, the Dave Loomis, and not the rock star, Steve Miller. Steve Hercules Miller.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Thanks, kids.
We'll see y'all. Take care.
I'll be back.
Bye-bye. What is your middle name, Steve?
My middle name?
Yeah.
Let's just do a little test here. I am named after my first name and middle name. I am named after a very famous TV personality from
Steve Allen.
Boom.
Steve Allen Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Allen, not
the rock star Miller,
not the host, not the talk show host.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, Steve Allen. My parents were huge fans of his.
Yeah. You already know my middle name.
Yeah. How did you get that name?
It's my mom's maiden name. And so there's the Mayos go all the way back they go way back.
Oh, really?
Way back to to Cape Cod. Like the whole Mayflower time.
Like
period.
The Wayback Machine?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yep. Mayos. And I told you my middle name joke though, right? I'm sure I did.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the one and only B2B Marketing and Sales Podcast, the source for B2B marketing and sales insight. If you enjoyed the podcast, please be sure to subscribe and leave these old guys a 5-star rating. Check the show notes for any links and contact information. You can always contact us by going to b2bmarketingsalespodcast.com. Thank you, and keep on marketing, keep on selling.